call it a night. Grab a ride home on me. Then I straightened my jacket collar and walked right past Ryan on my way out, and when I passed by Ashley, I paused for just a second and she was staring at me, her eyes more shocked than they had been back in that private room, and I gave her a slow, easy smile. Maybe next time pick better people to hang around with, and then I walked away, clean and sharp, not looking back once. I left the club and did not go back to the hotel. Instead, I drove straight to the airport because this city held way too much pain from my past life. Now that I had my first real money, it was time to go somewhere new and start fresh. The flight took off just after midnight, headed for River City. On the plane, I turned off my phone, settled into my first-class seat, and fell into a deep sleep. By the time I opened my eyes, the plane had already landed at River City International Airport. I walked out of the terminal breathing in the air of a city full of possibility, and felt energy buzzing through me, and I did not rush to buy a place. Instead, I rented a long-stay unit at Riverside Grand, the most premium-serviced apartment complex on the riverfront. Standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling panoramic windows, looking down at the glittering river boulevard below. I knew this was where I truly belonged, and the very next day, when the market opened, I got a call from my broker and his voice was shaking with excitement. Mr. Fan, it went up, Texor hit the limit up. I just gave a calm yeah and told him, do not sell until it hits 150, and I hung up. Then I started mapping out my next move because quick money from the market is just that quick. There is no real foundation, and I wanted to build my own empire. With the memories from my second chance, I knew exactly that over the next few years, the internet, healthcare, new energy vehicles, and artificial intelligence would be the 4 biggest opportunities. I spent a whole week pulling all-nighters and put together an incredibly detailed business plan. My goal was to start an investment firm dedicated to finding and backing high-potential startups, and 1 month later, Texor climbed exactly as I expected, all the way to 150. And my brokerage account had grown from $8 million to $300 million. I cashed out without hesitation, and with that seed money, Dynasty Capital officially launched in River City, with our office on the top floor of the Global Business Center in the Riverfront New District. I started building my team and offered salaries and profit sharing way above industry standard to poach the sharpest analysts and traders from the top investment banks, and at first, those financial hotshots were a little skeptical of me, this 20-something kid. But after I accurately called 3 market circuit breakers and led them to short the market for a $50 million gain in a single day, everyone looked at me differently after that, and my life got busier and busier. Non-stop meetings, endless business reports, new partnerships to build. I slowly stopped thinking about my old city, stopped thinking about Ashley, stopped dwelling on all that baggage, until one day my assistant walked in and handed me a gold-embossed invitation. Mr. Fan, there is an international business summit next week at the Southfield Convention Center. This is an invitation from the organizers, and they would love to have you attend. I took it and gave it a quick scan, but when my eyes landed on the list of co-sponsors, my finger stopped for just a second. The Lou Group just would not go away. Pass on it. My assistant hesitated. Mr. Fan, this summit is a really high-profile event. Almost half of the global Fortune 500 are attending. And Mr. Zhou, the organizer, who is the son of the wealthiest man in Hunan province, is personally requesting your presence, and I thought it over for a second, and said, fine, I will go. A week later, I boarded my flight to Nanchang, landed and headed straight to the convention center, but just my luck. The moment I walked in, Ryan came storming toward me, his eyes bloodshot like a cornered animal ready to snap. What the hell did you do standing under the glittering crystal chandeliers? Ryan grabbed my jacket collar with both hands. Just moments ago, he must have gotten the news that the Fang Group port project had completely collapsed, and I looked down at his trembling hand. Half a month ago, he was still the untouchable second son of the Fang family. And now in my eyes, he was nothing but a clown. And I said, Ryan, that jacket is expensive. You probably cannot afford to replace it right now. So I reached out and grabbed his wrist, gave it a sharp twist, and all it took was one yelp. And Ryan stumbled back, clutching his wrist and wincing in pain. I calmly fixed the collar he had grabbed, and he sputtered, Dynasty Capital. Where did you get that kind of money? How do you know my family's cards? I have your Uncle Lou to thank for that $8 million gave me the chance to get into Texor. And that is what built Dynasty Capital. I said it casually, but it hit Ryan like a knife straight to the gut, and he just stood there frozen, his face white as a sheet. And right at that moment, Ashley stepped out from the crowd in a long white dress, her eyes full of shock and confusion as she rushed over to me. Did you really have to go this far? I turned and looked at her. This face I had been in love with for 3 years now felt like nothing more than a stranger to me, and I said, Miss Lou, business is war. When Ryan was going out of his way to humiliate me, you never seemed to think he was going too far. Ashley opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I was done with both of them and under everyone's eyes. I walked straight toward the VIP section in the back of the ballroom and headed to Mr. Zhou. I clinked glasses with him and we hit it off immediately. We locked in a partnership deal pretty quickly where Dynasty Capital and the Zhou Group would team up to co-develop new energy projects, and he laughed, saying, young man, you are something else. You read the Fang situation perfectly. Not really. I just went with the flow. You are too kind, I said, and raised my glass back. After Mr. Zhou left, I was about to head out myself, when the lounge door swung open and Ashley walked in. The cold wall she had up in the ballroom was gone, and her eyes held a kind of exhaustion and vulnerability I had never seen before. She asked quietly, can we talk? Not about business, just talk. I sat back down on the couch and poured myself a glass of water, my voice flat, and I said, Miss Lou, I have an international call this afternoon. You have 3 minutes. You were never like this before, and that $8 million was just my dad testing you. He never actually wanted to push you away, I swear. And hearing that, I almost laughed out loud. A test throwing $8 million in someone's face, watching them get tossed out by security, and you call that a test? If you only came here to say that, then you can go ahead and leave. Ashley stood there, frozen tears welling up in her eyes, and eventually they spilled over and I stood up, grabbed my jacket and walked right past her. As I brushed by her, I did not look back. Miss Lou, going forward, there's nothing left to say about us. The only thing between us now is business. 3 days after getting back to River City, I got a call from Mr. Lou. His voice no longer carried that commanding authority from 2 weeks ago. Instead, it was full of barely concealed anxiety and anger. What exactly are you trying to pull? You took over the Fang project, and now you're buying up Lu Group shares on the open market. I was sitting in my top floor office at Dynasty Capital, looking out at the river, and I just hit the speakerphone button and said calmly, "Sir, you taught me yourself that in business there are only interests, and I see real investment value in Liu Group shares. Is there a problem with that?" A crash of breaking glass came through the phone. Clearly Mr. Liu had been pushed past his limit, and he snapped, "This is revenge. You are doing this for Ashley, and you are willing to destroy the whole Liu family over her. With all due respect, sir, you give Miss Liu way too much credit. I am just making a smart deal." Then I hung up and added his number to my block list. I stared at the Liu Group stock price ticking on my screen and felt nothing but calm. The Liu Group had looked impressive all these years, but it was all just a fancy shell hollow on the inside, rotting through and through.